Good news, Bayern fans. We're not a bunch of bums in the transfer window. The club seems to be serious. The club seems to actually have some brain cells left in their noggins. If you didn't see the news, Nick Woltemade to Bayern. The links are strong, and the links need to be made official. Bayern must sign Nick Woltemade, one of the up-and-coming strikers, one of the starlets, the bright starlets coming through in Germany. He's coming into his own. He's not that young. He's had plenty of time to develop at the top level. And now it's time for him to make the move to Bayern, to come to the biggest team in Germany, to excel his game and establish himself on the world stage. Nick Woltemade to Bayern. If you've been living under a rock, this is the news that's been coming out. Context: the search for the left winger was going a little stale. It looks like Barcola is going to be impossible. Nico Williams can be a possibility if Barcelona can't afford him. Rafael Leao, some people at the club are having doubts about his mentality, this and that. Mitoma talks have kind of just dried out. The search for a left winger was kind of dying a bit this past week, and I was not happy about that because we need a left winger. That bum Leroy Sané is finally gone. That left wing position is there to be snapped up by a top quality player. But the news was dry, and then we get hit with this just a couple days ago. Nick Woltemade has decided to join Bayern and reject Stuttgart's. Al Hilal are beating Manchester City. I repeat, Al Hilal are beating Manchester City 4-0, 4-3. What the heck? Anyway, what the heck? Nick Woltemade has decided to join Bayern and reject Stuttgart's renewal offer. Intensive talks took place last week between Max Eberl and Woltemade's agent, Danny Bachmann. Personal terms were discussed. Bayern are now planning to open negotiations with VfB. Now, I usually have a chain of tweets, but I just want to bring this tweet up, and let's just talk about the signing. By the way, guys, Al Hilal are beating Manchester City 4-3 right now. Hold on. What the heck? I had to pause my recording. Man City just lost 4-3 to Al Hilal. I will be dropping a video ASAP after I finish this. But anyway, Woltemade. The reason I like this direction is because I'm glad the club realizes that, yes, Harry Kane isn't finished now. Yes, Harry Kane is still doing the job, but we need to start thinking long-term because we cannot just run with Harry Kane until the wheels fall off and then we're scrambling for a striker. Because we did that with Lewandowski. We didn't have a proper replacement. We just had a backup with Choupo-Moting. And then when Lewandowski finally left, when his time at Bayern finally left, we had to scramble for a striker. We couldn't get it done. And we played a whole season with Choupo-Moting and Sadio Mane as our main number 9s. And we saw how that ended. We saw how, Choupo-Moting did a great job for moments in that season, but it just wasn't good preparation for Bayern. Now with Woltemade, we have a guy that if Harry Kane needs a rest, play him. If Harry Kane is injured, play him. In 2 years' time, maybe in 2 years' time, if Harry Kane's time at Bayern's done, he will have been at Bayern for 2 years, getting ready for his moment to shine. And this is where also it's great. Because if things don't work out for Woltemade, if he comes to Bayern, and in 2 years' time he's not ready to take over for a Harry Kane, fine, that's great. Bayern are in a position where they can still go into the market and look at the strikers that are available. Because in 2 years' time, will Isak finally be looking to seriously leave in Newcastle? Will Julian Alvarez be ready to move on from Atletico Madrid? You're looking at top up-and-coming strikers throughout Europe, and they might be available come a year or 2 years' time. So this is a very strong move for Bayern. And it's not like you're just getting a backup. You're getting a very quality player here because with Nick Woltemade, as I should say, the VfB Stuttgart fans have been calling him Woltemade. He's not he's super tall, right? And you look at a super tall player like that, and you don't expect the dribbling you get from him. You don't expect the speed. You don't expect like this Joga Bonito style striker, but that's what he is. He likes to pick up that ball in wide spaces at times and drive towards the defense and create shooting opportunities for himself. He's definitely one of these strikers where he doesn't necessarily like needs service all the time now. Yes, will Voltemade take service any day of the week and take free headers, take open goals, take tap-ins? Absolutely. That his teammates will create for him. But he's not a guy that necessarily will need to rely on that at all times. If he needs to, he'll create an opportunity himself, and that's what I like. And with him, he's versatile as well. Ask any VfB Stuttgart fan, ask any Germany fan. I follow German football. I'm a German football fan. I support German football. I know that Nick Woltemade is not just a guy, is not just a striker. He can play as a 10. Hell, this guy can, because he likes playing in wide areas so much, he can play as a left mid or left winger. He can. Don't let his height and looks. I think people look at him, his height and looks, and make judgments, surface value judgments. He's not your stereotypical tall, lanky guy. He is a very skilled footballer with still a lot to learn, but a lot of quality here to excel upon and improve upon towards becoming one of the best strikers in Europe. And I think he has that quality now. With this news here, I'm fairly certain we will get him this summer, but the next thing is agreeing a deal, a transfer value, a transfer fee with VfB Stuttgart. Now, some crazy reports came out initially saying that VfB Stuttgart was going to be requesting 9 figures, at least 100 million. Those reports ended up being false. The realistic range Stuttgart will be trying to get out of Bayern here for Voltemade's signature is somewhere around 60 to 70 million. Now, for his age, he's not necessarily Isak level, Harry Kane level. He isn't. He just isn't at that Julian Alvarez level. He can get there. So I would be cautious about spending 60, 70 million on a player we would still have to develop. Now, is Nick Woltemade ready to come to Bayern and make an impact? I believe so. I believe he could come to Bayern next season and make a genuine impact and be very helpful. But for that kind of player, I exercise caution if you're looking at a 60, 70 million price tag. Now, for me, a player like Woltemade, ideally 50 million max. Ideally, because yes, 60, 70 million is a lot. And I'm not a big fan of spending that extra 20 million when I personally believe his value is somewhere between 40 to 50 million. But the good thing with Woltemade is I genuinely believe he would come and excel at Bayern. And if we pay 60 million in the end, I do think his value will go up. He will not be a player that, he's 23 years old. In a couple years' time, if things go well for him at Bayern, he will be a 100 million plus player. That's not over exaggerating. That's not sugarcoating it or anything. That's for real. That's the belief I have in him. And he just came off a strong season for Stuttgart as well, being one of the key guys to leading them to a DFB Pokal final. He's a quality guy. He's a quality player, man. He can come and be something at Bayern. And I think it's a smart move to go after him because, yes, people, and I already see people after these reports came out saying Bayern buying the Bundesliga like always. Well, let's be honest, man. If you guys are trashing the Bundesliga so much, your own teams aren't looking at guys like Woltemade to bring them in their team. That's not our problem. We will kindly pursue Nick Woltemade without any competition. Kindly. And that works in our favor. As long as no one doesn't come and bids 80 million for Woltemade like a Man City or something, although they have Haaland, but hypothetically, say PSG came in with an 80 million bid, then that makes life difficult for Bayern because Stuttgart will want to sell to the team bidding the highest, and they'll have leverage over us in terms of coming to an agreement for the transfer fee. But right now, we're the only guys in the running. Apparently, he's rejected Napoli and Chelsea. I'm happy. Nick Woltemade needs to come to Bayern. It's a must-buy. German player as well. In my opinion, in every generation, most of the top German players should be at Bayern, playing at Bayern. It's the destiny for most top German players to play at Bayern. Not all. Your Gundogan's, your Matthias, although he did play at Bayern, and Klinsmann, although they did play at Bayern, Matthias did play at Bayern. He made a name for himself at Inter. The Klinsmans, the Bremans, those guys exist, Gundogan and Toni Kroos. But guys like Woltemade. Wirtz went to Liverpool. Musiala, Jonathan Tah now at Bayern. Manuel Neuer still there. Kimmich, Alexander Pavlovich, Lennart Kral coming up in the youth for Bayern as well. So the top German players need to be at Bayern. At least some top German players need to be at Bayern, and he will be a top German player. Nick Woltemade will, if he comes to Bayern, has a strong season, he can potentially be a guy challenging for the starting striker role for Germany at the World Cup next summer as well. That's an illustrious position, the German number 9. That's an illustrious position, and he'll have healthy competition. Havertz, Tim Kleindienst, Niklas Füllkrug. There are players there to challenge him for that. But if he comes to Bayern and performs as I expect him to perform, he has a good shot at starting. So that is also an extra motivation for Woltemade to push for this move as well. As far as I'm concerned, he personally has agreed to the move, and the wage is ranging from anywhere to 7 to 10 million. Perfect. That's great. I have no issues with it. So Bayern, get it done. Max Eberl, credit to you. People were wondering why he left to Germany during the middle of the Club World Cup. It was to have these talks with Danny Bachmann and about Nick Woltemade and bringing him to Bayern. So credit to Eberl. He's not brain dead. He's not an idiot. He wants to bring guys like this in, which is very promising. I genuinely think that Jonathan Tah transfer is a positive signing. He brought in and capitalized on bringing one of the top midfielding talents in the Bundesliga last season, and Tom Bischoff, another young German talent, to Bayern as well. While nobody was really on, while he wasn't on anyone else's radar, I think he'll be good. Good moves from Eberl. Good moves. Now, if Woltemade comes, yes, people are talking about how he might be the alternative to a left wing signing. I absolutely disagree. I do think Woltemade, if he comes, we still need to spend on a left winger as well. I can't continue a whole other season with respect to Coman and Gnabry, not respect to Gnabry, respect to Coman. I need a top left winger. I need Nico. I need Leao. I need Barcola, or at least bring me a Mitoma, another option, a new fresh face in the attack on that left side. Even a Gakpo, maybe. I don't know. Just bring someone, Eberl. Good signing. Get it done. It's been your boy Hokage Puya. I'll see you guys in the next one.